right. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Talk 122 with your superintendent, Dr. Terrell Yarbrough. With me, I have someone who needs no introduction, is very well known throughout, I think, our high school, our Harlem community, and beyond. And so, Mr. Nick Stange, thank you for being a guest. What some may not know is that you're usually on the other side of this, manning the cameras and helping out with our fabulous team. So I appreciate you getting on this side. And what we are going to talk about a little bit is VetDoc, which I think is something that's near and dear to not only your heart, but a lot of individuals within and within our community and outside of our community as well. So if you can talk a little bit about, VetDoc, how it got started, and then some of the activities that are coming up, either this month or the next.
Yeah. So VetDoc, or the Harlem Veteran Project, all kind of originated out of a grant. So, I don't even know how many years it's been. 11, 12 years. There was a grant, me and Dr. Boyce, who's now the principal. Mm-hmm. We applied for the grant, lucky enough to get it. Came down to Springfield. They put us through a training. And then we got some equipment, brought it back, and then it kind of started as an independent study, and then it kind of blossomed into the class that it is now. For those who don't know, it's basically a Harlem Veteran Project where we sit down and we interview veterans. Okay. And then we take those interviews that probably on an average are 90 minutes, and the student kind of works with that and then manipulates that and creates a doc highlighting kind of that veteran's experience during their time in service. And that usually ends up about 20, 40 minutes in length. We upload it to YouTube, and then we've done about over 150 student docs have been produced over the years. We've done some other phone link docs that I've worked on with Miss Noonan now, who also teaches it, and former alumni, and we always try to get like a current student involved. So we've screened some stuff at the Beloit Film Festival the past, I think, 4 or 5 years. And then I think we're going to evolve it even more next year to kind of what is going to transition to the Harlem documentary class and look to expand and cover even more stories. We'll continue to do veteran interviews, but we'll also expand it to other historical stories from the area. Okay. We might have an opportunity to go down to Mississippi, get some civil rights interviews. So stuff like that could be incorporated in there, as well as local stuff. So. Okay. We're looking to expand our scope of what we're covering. Gotcha.
And so what activities do you have coming up?
The big one coming up is we are going to be doing what we call the gala. Okay. So that's kind of where we showcase all the students' work as well as honoring the veterans themselves. Mm-hmm. So typically how that works is the students will be screening their docs. Because of COVID, the class has decreased in size the last few years. We're 5 strong and mighty kids this year. But the cool thing that this will let us do is actually screen the whole docs. So we'll be kind of doing like a film festival type screening. So we'll be able to screen them all because in years past we've had as much as 20, 30 kids, and we can only do kind of compilation videos. So this would be a great opportunity to see what a whole product looks like from beginning to end. We'll honor the veterans who the story's focusing on. So if you're watching this, you're invited May 21st, 4 o'clock at the high school auditorium. So come on out, free of charge. Bring some guests. We'd love to fill up the whole auditorium, so that would be great.
That's cool. And just speaking from experience, it's a great event, and it's always well attended, and there's some crying in the audience, so so that's good. And so just thinking back to when you and Dr. Boyce started it with the grant to where it is now, what would you say, just getting feedback from interviewing veterans and all of that, what has been the reaction and the reception for this project, going from an independent study to now, a class, to now even evolving even more, so yeah.
It's changed my professional life as well as my personal life. Okay. It's just, teaching is I've been doing it 16 years, and there's ups and downs. I kind of hit a point where I was I don't know if I was burned out necessarily, but I was looking for something new. So sometimes when you teach the same subject over and over, it's nice to get a new subject. So when this kind of fell, into my lap, it kind of, reignited me, gave me the passion again, which I was kind of missing, I felt, there for a year. So that was key. Just seeing what the students get out of it.
Okay.
So, literally last month, I was able to officiate a wedding of 2 former students who met because of the class.
Okay.
And, it was a very humbling experience to be there, to talk to all the former students that were there as well. To hear the dad talk about how much the class meant to his son.
Okay.
And like how they've literally met because of this. They continue to be active in the veteran community. And just to see that, and to see the growth and all these kids go on. And it's not just, we've had kids who do go into filmmaking, but we've also had, a kid, was sharing a story with me. He's now working for immigration law, like trying to help people, get into the country, to have that opportunity. And how he said VetDoc provided the confidence for him to be able to talk to people, in these personal manners. And, I think back to the student who wanted to quit the first week, and then the gal is there and she's giving a poem. In front of 300 people, just to see that growth and to see what the kids get out of it. The veterans have been, they always express how much it's meant to them. I think it's become very therapeutic for them. It's kind of a form of therapy for them to be able to share their stories, because a lot of them come and they haven't shared these stories. If the World War II veteran, sometimes their spouse comes and they haven't heard it, and they've been married 50 years.
Oh, man.
So this is the first time they're hearing something. Or some Vietnam veterans hadn't talked about it, since they left, until they sat down with us. Okay. And to hear that it helped them and that they grew because of that is very powerful.
Right.
And then, to be able to use that for this younger generation. Because I think the power of oral history, which I've said 1,000 times, is not necessarily the words that they say, but the emotions they carry on their face. They tell a powerful story, and then they have that, 5-second pause where you can see that they're back at that, memory again. And then the kids can read that. That does more teaching than anything I could do in a classroom of something I haven't experienced. Right. And I think that's powerful. And that's also why we want to expand it, too. Okay. Because it's a way to give people more access to different perspectives of what it means to, to live in, the Harlem community. What have they experienced? And when kids can see that and have that connection of sitting across the table from them and going, oh my God, I didn't realize that, that's your experience, because everybody has, a different background, different, history that they're coming from to it. And that's the power of the class.
Okay. All right. No, good stuff. I mean, I was going to interrupt you, but the whole wedding story was so powerful. You officiated a wedding?
Yeah, I got a card now. So if anybody's looking,
that is awesome. So
yeah, it was pretty crazy.
That's good. I mean, I really, just the whole piece of where students can grow and not only get something from the class during the class time, but even afterwards, and go on and do other things that they can trace back to their time, during VetDoc. So that's good. And so a couple things I'm gonna have fun with here a little bit. So obviously this class has had a huge impact on a lot of people, right? And it gives us an opportunity to show our veterans, how much we appreciate what they've done for all of us. But two, our students, it helped our students become people that they didn't even think that they could, become, and do things that they didn't even think they could do, right? And so to challenge you a little bit here, because I know a lot of, the documentaries and the videos, mean something to you, but which one has just stuck with you? Like your students made it, and that documentary just, whenever you just think of it, it just sticks with you.
There's probably a couple different ones. The one vet story that sticks with me is Ned Broderick, who was in Vietnam, and he was an artist afterwards. Okay. And I don't even know how we got him to do the interview. He doesn't talk much about it, but it was such a powerful interview And just when he talks about his heaven is basically sitting, around a campfire with his military buddies, just drinking, bad coffee.
Okay.
Just made you realize, kind of the connection that is formed in, a stressful situation like that. That's one that always carries over with me.
Okay.
I think one, I got into this. I don't know how I got into this. I mean, besides applying for the grant, because I never went to school for any of this. So the students have definitely, carried me along in a lot of ways and have taught me a lot. And we had a unique opportunity. The Beloit Film Festival came. They saw our gala. They're like, hey, you want to be part of something? Not knowing anything, we decided, you know what, this is an opportunity not to reuse something we already have, but to do something from scratch. So me and some alumni, one man behind the camera right there, we put together Monster Within.
Okay.
So, which kind of dealt with life after service, dealing with a vet who suffered from ALS after service Persian Gulf, and a vet who suffered from drug addiction after Afghan. And then the fact that we were able to complete this full-length thing, not knowing what we were doing, and just the growth that took place for me personally, I have a lot of connections, but seeing the kids also grow from that and continue to, build off of that and kind of use that as a starting point has been really cool as well.
Okay.
As well as the first gala, too. The fact that, we were able to pull that off and not get laughed out of the building.
No, that's cool. And so you mentioned Dr. Boyce in the beginning.
Yeah.
Helped you with the grant and things like that over the years, and you've been doing this for a number of years now.
Yeah.
Who would you say would be another person that's influenced you?
Kira Noonan. So,
all right.
Yeah. She's the heart and soul of Vet Doc. I've been trying to think how I need to talk more about her for sure.
Okay.
No, yeah, I am just one of two teachers, one of, several teachers that have helped make this go over the years. So Kira Noonan is, she's right there involved with it too, as co-taught, has had rosters for it. And she really is the heart and soul, the organization behind it. Keeps me in line, yells at me. But no, yeah, she does so much work. And she kind of got involved because Dr. Boyce got moved up to, admin halfway through the school year. And that's where she took over and has been doing it ever since. Okay. And she was really the person that kind of pushed for us where it really took off, where I think we did something like 40, 50 interviews one year. Wow. And she was part of that driving force with that. Okay. As well as a shout out to Rock Valley College and Jerry Labai and formerly Brian Shelton, who used to work out there. So
Gotcha. Another thing that as Vet Doc has evolved over the years, and me being at the high school for a little bit, that I was really it's going to stay with me is when we talk about our equity work, and how our equity work has grown as well, is how it impacted the work that you all was doing within Vet Doc, right? So if you can talk a little bit about that and how you kind of intertwined our equity work with your work in Vet Doc.
Yeah, I think we've used the skills that we've done with interviews to interview students to help showcase, what does it mean to be a student of color at Harlem? And then to hear that first personal account, like I was talking about earlier, when you have a student sharing a testimonial of their experience, as a Black Harlem student, that's powerful stuff, right? Especially for, our staff who might not, don't understand it because they haven't lived that. Right. So that's very powerful. It's been great to do those. I mean, those were very enlightening. It's been powerful for the staff. We share that at PD stuff. Just branching out too and seeing diversity increase just amongst the veteran community that we're interviewing and hearing those different stories and leaning into those stories. There's one way we could do a lot of these docs where it's just kind of like a timeline of what happened and not dive into the social issues, but something that I think we've done better over the years is leaning into these social issues too, that these individual stories have expressed. Right. And we've seen that. And that's been great, and it's important for the kids to understand that too, and to learn from that, and just to grow from that. So it's just been great to do that, and there's a lot of those stories that we haven't covered that need to be covered, and that we hope to cover with the expansion and evolution of the Harlem Project is to dive into that. Talking to local, civil rights leaders could be a great avenue for us to go with. There's a lot of, amazing people in the state line from all backgrounds. And we have a chance to amplify their voice, and we want to do that. And I think that would be powerful for our students.
Gotcha. Well, thank you for that, and I can't wait to see those.
Yeah.
So now here's the moment of truth for you.
No.
Every
I've been
guest tries
practicing
this.
for hours.
You've seen it, so let's see.
Gotta do better than Dredge. Can't have the noble gift.
The
Right
first
there.
time, and you made it.
First time I ever touched it. I swear.
Well, obviously, thank you for being, on the show. Obviously, you're part of the show, and we appreciate all that you do, and everyone, behind the scenes and in front as well for Vet Doc, and we appreciate that.
Well, thank you for all your support. I know. So, administration. There's a lot of schools that I tried, and they haven't had the support to get it. So you're a big part of that too. So appreciate it, and giving opportunities to do different videos. So thank you.
Anytime. All right. Well, there's another episode in the books. We definitely love bringing these to you, specifically with things that are going on, again, within Harlem, and then also things that are going on in our community. So thank you for tuning in. And like always, I am Harlem, you are Harlem, we are Harlem. See you next time.